Hey guys, I just got back from a photo shoot, so I'm going to take you along through my process of the behind the scenes of what I do after a photo shoot. So, let's crack this open and let's get started. So, I just uploaded my photos to my laptop and I took 704 photos. So now I have to go through and pick out the best ones. So let's do that. As I'm going through the photos, you're gonna see this green bar pop up in the corner. To do this, I hit Command 8. This allows me to choose the photos that I want to edit. As I'm going through the photos, I'm looking at all the small details. I'm looking at her hair to see how her hair lays in the different poses to pick out the best photo. Also, I'm looking at the lighting. I know I can always adjust it, but I want to have the best lighting in the photo, so going to edit it makes it easier for me. I also zoom in at some points to make sure the photo is in focus because that's very important. I'm also making sure that I'm choosing a variety of photos, so zoomed in, zoomed out, details, horizontal, vertical, all that, so she has options. I just finished going through and selecting all the photos out of the, 700 photos. So now I am starting the initial editing where I go in and I fix different lighting and, make it look pretty. So I'll show you guys my process. So I do all of my editing in Camera Raw, and if I need to, I take it into Photoshop, but I usually do not do that. I do all my editing in Camera Raw. So first I start with the exposure and I play around seeing what looks best for each photo. And I play around with all these settings to make it how I want, adjusting the highlights and the shadows. And then there is this little eye tool on the top of each section. So I always click that so I can see the before and after to see the changes that I made. With the color section, I always make it a bit warmer because that's the style of editing that I do. So I play around with that. And there's an eyedropper tool that can help adjust it automatically to your photo. Once I like my edits on my one photo, I copy the edit settings and then I'm done with this photo. So from the same location, I'll open up the next couple photos and then I can select them. I just paste the edits. And then I'll go back through each photo to make specific changes if I need to. Like this one right here, it's still a little bright. So I'll go in, turn down the highlights and the whites. Yeah, that's much better. Each photo stays consistent because I'm copying and pasting the edits, but then I make the small little tweaks when it's needed. I am in a different setting for this part of the video because I needed to take a break from editing. I cannot sit down for hours and hours and hours and edit all the photos at once. I need to give myself a break, so that's why I am home. Well, also, wait, I am home because I had my first small wedding that I did on Thursday. I'm beyond excited. It was my very first one. I did it all by myself. I was like, oh my god, I was so excited. So I had that on Thursday and I came home because I have a senior photo shoot tomorrow with two girls, they're best friends at a college close to my home, so I came home for the weekend. But that doesn't mean the editing doesn't stop. I still have to work on these. I always make sure that I give myself time to edit, but not too much time because I want the client to get their photos back relatively fast. So, for the seniors, since it's still early in the month, I am giving myself 2 weeks to get these photos done. I have 1 week left. I haven't touched these photos in a couple days, but sometimes I think that's good because I make edits, but then sometimes I get tired of editing, but I keep going because, like, I'm in the groove. But sometimes it's not always my best work. Now, when I go back, I have fresh eyes, new inspiration of how I can edit, going back to my old edits, making sure I like the way they look. So, I wanted to remind you guys that that is completely okay to take a break. I wanted to make a spot in this video to remind you that. I showed you guys my initial right when I get back from editing. I always upload them and I quickly do some edits. I always pick out my favorites. So right now I have 108 to go through and edit. I already started. I was jumping around from different locations that we went to because I was getting bored of editing the same photo. So it's okay to jump around too. Now I'm gonna go back in, check out my edits and keep editing more. I'll show you guys what I do. Even with some masks, I sometimes in the background make it so the sky isn't so washed out. So now I'm going back into my photos with fresh eyes. I absolutely love how I edited these colors. I am going to open this up, copy these edits. Then I'm going to open up this one I have not even touched yet. So I'm going to open up this one, paste the edits. Oh my gosh. Perfection. This one is perfection. I am obsessed. Now I'm going to go in and crop. A good tip is rule of thirds. So I'm going to bring this down to her eye. See how this intersection crosses over her eye? That is how you utilize rule of thirds. It just makes it more pleasing to the eye. So then over here, there is this straighten tool that you can double click and it'll automatically straighten to what it thinks is straight. Usually it does a very good job. Sometimes it doesn't do the best, so just be careful with that. And again, the eye tool, look at the changes. So sometimes when it's not the exact same location, I will find a photo that has a similar brightness to it, so then I don't have to make as many changes. I'm gonna try and put it on this image right here. Okay. I'm gonna go right to my white balance. First, bring this up right about here. Now I'm gonna go back up to the eye tool and I'm going to see the changes that it made. Okay, to me it looks like the highlights and whites are way too much. I'm gonna bring that down and I'm gonna bring up the blacks about here, shadows right about here. Now for this one, the range from the sky to like the brick down has very different colors. I want to fix that, but when I do the adjustments in the light area, it makes those changes to the whole photo. And I do not want that for this photo. So I'm going to show you how we can do this. We go to the mask, which is this little guy right here under the eraser. So we go here. The brush, here it is. I like to make my brush big and it has a nice feather so nothing is too harsh. I find that to be very important. Now that we have the brush, I want to lighten the bottom half of my photo. Right now this is doing nothing, this is just selecting what I want to have changed. I'm going to go to the exposure and I'm going to brighten it. Oh my god. That already made a huge difference. Huge difference. Let's look at that difference. So that's how you can utilize a mask to brighten it. You can also do the same for making stuff not as bright. Making a face look brighter if it had shadows. Just play around with it. It can do so much and it can really help really focus your edits. I always do a basic edit first. Start with my basic edits on any image. Then, if it needs it, I'll go back in with a mask to fix, like with this photo, the half down, like the brick, there was some shadows. And I didn't love it. I wanted it to be bright because she's the focus. I wanted her to be bright. The eye goes right to her. So that's when I go in and I use a mask to make those changes, to make it easier. I have a lot to go through, so I won't bore you guys. But that is my process through the editing. I take breaks a lot. I'll probably edit these photos maybe for the next 15 minutes and then I might go get ice cream. I feel like it's an ice cream kind of night. It was so nice outside today. I feel like it's summer. I'm gonna edit these and then I know it's going to be rainy tomorrow, so all I have is my photo shoot and I'll be working on these some more. So, trying to balance it out with my daily activities, with school. All about balance. You just gotta listen to yourself, and it's getting late, so I might even put on a show and do some edit. That is my basic editing and my kind of process of how I go through my edits. I hope you guys enjoyed. I can't wait for these photos to be finished and I can send them off to my client and I hope she loves them. I'm literally obsessed. So I hope you guys learn some new tips and tricks about editing and you got to see my behind the scenes process of what I do. I'll see you guys next time and stay tuned for more.